Well, hello YouTube. Welcome to the garage. Got a little project we're working on today. Got a new piece of equipment. Have you ever heard of let's see if we can get this thing to work. I'm not a videographer. Might look like a sand blaster, but that's actually a vapor blaster. Made by Vapor Honing Technologies in North Carolina. And we're gonna get this thing running today. And then we're going to do some blasting and see what it'll do. But Vapor Honing Technologies on their website does have links to how to set this thing up, but there's a whole lot of detail that was lacking. So I'm going to try and fill in the gaps that I would like to have had when I was, I had to figure out a few things. It's not that hard, but there's a few things that probably should have been said. So I'm going to try and video as much of it as I can and maybe help somebody out. And also, I'm not a videographer, so please forgive me if I jostle the camera around or whatever, but I'm going to try and get you the information. First, I'm going to walk around and kind of show you what the dealio is with it. Let me get you off the tripod here. If I can figure that out. There it is. That's what I was looking for. There we go. Okay, let me get the little viewfinder flipped around here where I can see what I'm supposedly pointing at. Okay. Hope we're zoomed back out as far as we can get. Yes, we are. Okay. Don't have a whole lot of room in here. Like I said, this is a vapor blaster by Vapor Honing Technologies. This is their Weekend Warrior version. This is like the entry level. I did get a couple of upgrades on it. This is what they call the closed loop system, and I'll explain exactly what that is once we're setting it up here. But this is just the basic machine, and you've probably seen vapor blasters or sand blasters, but I'm gonna kind of try and walk you through what I had to do to set it up. I did buy a dedicated compressor for it. This is a Freight Train by Eaton Compressor. I'm going to do a separate video on that compressor. That's a rude machine right there. But I'll talk about that. But as far as the machine itself, I wanted to get it opened up so you could actually see inside of it. I didn't see a whole lot of really good videos that showed the inside of the machine. Of course, we got, that's the mesh floor that goes in here, but I wanted you to see what was in it. As far as vapor blasting, it's kind of like sand blasting, but you add water to it. In this, well down here where the pump is where you put water and your abrasive, whatever it be, glass bead, ceramic bead, aluminum oxide. There's all whatever you want to use, crushed glass. Not walnut shells. Don't use anything like walnut shells. You can dry blast with that, but not wet blast. You can use baking soda. Armex XL is what is usually using this, but so obviously this is a trash pump. This is just like any kind of a sump pump. It's nothing special. And what it does is it just circulates the slurry. Obviously you have water. You can see where the level would be. They tested the machine before they shipped it. The water comes up to that upper hole there. The upper hole is for overflow. That hole right there, the one in the middle, that's if you just want to change out the water in this thing and leave the media. And then there's the big main drain where you would drain out the media and water when you're ready to change the media after it's wore out, or you just want to put a different media in. But those are little drains over there, and you got the pump here. Obviously it sucks the water and abrasive in at the bottom. Hopefully you can see this. And it comes up through, and some of it comes out this T and down each side, and that's what agitates the abrasive in the water and keeps it suspended. And then some of it comes up through here and out the nozzle. Okay, and all that pump does when it's running, it just circulates that slurry and keeps it stirred up. Okay, but as far as, and there's some things you can do. You can do some polishing, burnishing as it's called, with just the pump pressure. But if you want to do any real blasting and get something off, you add the air. The air is what accelerates the slurry with the abrasive in it and does removal. And you step on the treadle, and well, actually, when you step on the treadle, it engages the pump and also opens the air valve. So you get water, abrasive, and air coming out the nozzle. And that's what you do your blasting with. And so that's the floor that goes in here. And, of course, you got your gloves. I don't have it plugged in right now, so the light's on. That's why I had an auxiliary light. This is just a vent. And it's also got, this is a rinse nozzle, and I'll show you how it works. But once you're done to rinse your parts off, this is what you use. You get the rinse nozzle. This little tray here, when you open the door, some water and abrasive will drip off, and it's got a return drain. It's hard to look through the camera and point at the right thing. And it drains in here. This tray drains into here. Anything caught in here goes back into the well down here. And of course, you can use your rinse nozzle to rinse it back down in there. So that's basically inside. Obviously, this one, like I said, this base machine. It just has the one light, and it's got a rinse nozzle up here that that'll rinse the inside of the window off. Some of them have windshield wipers and that kind of stuff along with rinse nozzles, but this is, like I said, this is the base model, and trying to get it as inexpensive as possible. But it is run by a treadle. You step on the pedal and it turns everything on. Now, when you're setting it up, this machine does not come with a regulator. You can put, your own regulator on. Well, you have to put your own regulator on it. It's not, the regulator is not supplied. So I personally didn't want to cheap out on my regulator, and this is from Automation Direct. It's a Nitra. Okay, and the way I decided on that one is I watched several of the videos from Vapor Hunting Technologies, and on their higher end machines, that's what they use. They had a close up, and I could see where it says Automation Direct in the gauge here, and then I saw the Nitra. So I went to Automation Direct and found that this is the half inch. They make a half inch, a quarter, half. I think quarter, 3/8, and half inch is where you can get the three sizes. This is a half inch because in something like this with when you're using an air, CFM is king. So the more CFM, the better off you are. So this is what they use in their higher end machines. Get what you want. You can buy a cheap one. This is about $110 for this, and then it was a $25 or $30 at least for the gauge. I mean, this is obviously oil-filled gauge, so I didn't cheap out on the gauge. I wanted a good gauge, but the machine does not come with one. Okay, and now as far as setting it up, you got to put your own gauge on it, and this is a 1/4 inch fitting. Okay, and a 1/4 inch hose, and I want to talk about that here in just a minute, but again, when you're doing any kind of blasting, whether it be dry blasting or wet blasting, CFM, cubic feet per minute, that's king. Buy as much compressor as you can possibly afford. If you're going to buy a compressor, get the biggest one you can absolutely afford, because you're going to need it. This consumes a lot of air, and this will go up to 150 psi. You don't blast that high. 60 to 80 is usually the average, but still get as much compressor as you can possibly afford. And obviously on-off switches. I haven't had this thing plugged in yet, so I don't know which one does what. We'll figure that out. Okay, so, but you have to hook up your, let's say, the 1/4-inch line to your provided regulator. And I said, when I just put this compressor in, and I ran a 1-inch pipe over here, and this is neck down, and this is a half-inch hose going to the machine, feeding the machine. One of the things you're going to have to see, well, again, this one is what they call the closed loop system. What it has, and this is what makes it the closed loop system. It has this reservoir that sits there like that, and you fill this one about 3/4 of the way with water. Okay, and then this little gadget here, it's a demand pump. It's air operated demand pump, and what this does is it'll take the water out of here for the rinse nozzle. This feeds the rinse nozzle. That's what this is. And then this is the rest of the closed loop system. That sits there like that. And this, you fill it up until it overflows through this tube right here. Okay, and when you're using the machine, as you're using the rinse nozzle and the window rinse, you're filling the machine. The water's going into the machine, and it's actually diluting the abrasive a little bit. But once you're done blasting whatever part you're blasting, you let the media settle. And then once, it doesn't take very long, the media will settle to the bottom. And what you do is each time you open the valve. Which way do you turn it? There we go. You open that valve with that sitting there like that, and it'll drain back down to the level it's supposed to be at. The abrasive will stay in there because it's settled, but the excess water will go into here, and any abrasive that does come out with it will settle out in here. Then it runs through this overflow into the bottom and refills that, and then it recycles it through, and that's what you use the rinse nozzle and the window rinse. And when you get this, if you get the closed loop system, you're going to have to hook up this pump. It doesn't come already connected. And this little 1/4-inch hose here, obviously I've already put it on. The pump will be already attached to this hose that draws water out of the tank here will already be attached. This will not be, so you have to put this on. There's a little nipple that sticks out there, and this is hard plastic. Get a heat gun and heat this up a little bit. Don't melt it, but you'll have a hard time pushing it on if you don't. Warm this up, slide right on, then it's just got a little spring clip there that holds it on. And then this one connection here is this is for the air. This is the air that operates that pump. Like I said, it's an air operated demand pump, and this is what feeds the water to the rinse nozzle and the what's it called, the window rinse. And the way you hook this up, so they don't show you this in any kind of directions. Let me get, I don't know if we have enough light. Let me grab a light here. Sorry. Hope I don't make you seasick. Okay, I just want you to see. So this is hard to do through the camera. This obviously goes in that hole right there. And this little gadget right here lifts up to lock it in place. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. There we go. There. So that's how you do that. You just lift it up and snaps it in place. And then what we do is basically it's ready to go. It's all in one piece. We got to fill the thing up and plug it in, and we should be able to do some vapor blasting. I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this video here, and then I'm going to do another one where we're filling it, when I have it set in place, filling it, putting the abrasive in, and the actual startup. So if you get one of these machines, and just hopefully this will help you set it up a little easier. I had a couple questions. Most people use quick disconnects on these though, and I didn't. I just, I'm not going to be disconnecting it and moving it, stuff like that. And I believe in, I want as few restrictions as I possibly can in this machine. Because I want to be able to get as much air to it. And those 1/4 inch quick disconnects, they're nice, but they're restrictive. And again, this machine's not going to be moved all. I'm a one-man dog and pony show, and nobody else is going to be using this machine. It's not going to be moved anywhere. It's going to sit here, and I'm going to figure out some way to put a way to separate this without having to take the hose off all the time. But I'm going to, probably one of those couplers that just screws together. But I don't want to restrict any of the flow of the airflow. So that's just me. Most people just put a 1/4 inch quick disconnect on it, and then down the road you go. But whatever works best for you. This is the way I did it. And so like I said, the next video, we're going to be filling it with water, filling it with abrasive, and we're going to, watch how the machine, going to look, show you how the pump works, and, and then we're going to start blasting some parts. So, you know the deal. Like and subscribe, and share with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.